Every year goes by faster than the one before it. Most of us have said it out loud. Where did the year go? We say it half joking at the end of December, and then we move on. But I don't think we're really joking. Underneath that sentence is a quieter one, and it's frightening. If the years keep speeding up, and I can barely account for the last one, then what am I actually doing with my life? That is not a silly fear. It's an honest one, and it deserves a real answer rather than a comforting one. So here it is, as plainly as I can say it. Time is not speeding up. Your memory is running out of things to store. A psychologist called William James wrote about exactly this in 1890, and nobody has explained it better since. When you're young, he said, almost every hour brings something new, so you remember those years as something intricate, multitudinous, and long drawn out. But as each passing year turns more of your life into routine you barely notice, then, and this is the line that stays with me, the days and the weeks smooth themselves out in recollection to contentless units, and the years grow hollow and collapse. A hollow year, not a year that was stolen from you, a year your mind had no reason to keep. And once you see why your mind does that, it stops feeling like a curse. Your brain isn't trying to record your life, it's trying to predict it. Its job is to notice what's different, learn from it, and then stop paying attention. The first time you drive a new route, you're wide awake, and every turn matters. By the 100th time, you're asleep at the wheel. You have almost certainly arrived home and realized you can't remember a single thing about the journey. You were there. Your eyes were open the whole way, but nothing got written down because nothing was new. Now stretch that from a drive to a decade, and here is the part that surprises people, because it's the opposite of what we assume. A busy year and a full year are not the same thing. You can spend 12 months exhausted, working late, saying yes to everything, and still look back and find almost nothing there. Busyness isn't novelty. Doing the same demanding thing 400 times is still repetition, and your mind files repetition under the same as usual. That is why the hardest year of your life can also be the one that vanished the fastest. You weren't idle, you just weren't anywhere new. Think about a summer when you were 9. It went on forever, didn't it? We tell ourselves that's nostalgia. It isn't. That summer really was longer, not on the calendar, but in you, because nearly everything in it was happening for the first time. The first time in that water. The first time you were allowed to stay out that late. Your mind wrote all of it down, and so you got to keep it. Your last summer is probably a few photographs and a feeling. So what do you actually do about it? The obvious answer is to go and do new things, but people hear that as quit your job, move abroad, and then give up, because most of us can't and shouldn't have to. It is much smaller than that. There are 2 ways to make a day stick, and only one of them needs anything new. The first is novelty, and it can be tiny. A different road home, a cafe you've walked past for 2 years, a real conversation with someone you'd normally just nod at. One unfamiliar thing a week is enough to change the shape of a year. The second is attention, and this is where Montaigne is worth listening to. 400 years ago, he wrote a line that sounds almost too simple. When I dance, I dance. When I sleep, I sleep. And he goes further. When he is walking alone in an orchard and notices his mind has wandered off somewhere else, he calls it back. To the walk, to the orchard, and to himself. That isn't a pretty thought. That's the technique. A day you are never really present for is a day you don't get to keep, because your mind can only store what you actually attended to. So attention isn't just how you enjoy your life, it's how you keep it. Which brings me to Seneca, who wrote something 2,000 years ago that people almost always get backwards. He said, "We are not poor in days, but wasteful of them." It sounds like an accusation. It isn't. He meant that a day you never noticed is a day you never really had. You weren't robbed of it. You just weren't there for it. So where did the year go? It didn't go anywhere. Very little of it was written down because very little of it was new, and very little of it was noticed. That's all it is. It's how memory works, and now you know how it works. You were never running out of time. You were running out of new and out of attention. And unlike time, both of those are still yours. You can start giving them back to yourself this week in small and unremarkable ways. A different road home. A little more presence in an ordinary afternoon. Do that, And next December, when someone asks you where the year went, you will be able to tell them.